I have seen many of creepy shit on the internet. And I do mean creepy. Like, I remember when I was a teenager reading the SCP forums and being freaked out because how bureaucratic but scary because of the monsters and how realistic the situation of trying to make it into the lore. This is when I was like discovering ARGs and all that. It's an ARG at the end of the day. Well, I mean, SCP's become its own thing now. But we got someone. Now this video has been trending. Now there's multiple people who have talked about this. But this is something I found. I think many other people found and thought, there's no way this has got to be real. I thought this was an ARG. A fucking ARG. I thought it was some weird joking, weird trolling shit. Oh, it's all fake. But that's the scariest part. It's real. Smart Schoolboy 9. Possibly the most scariest shit I have seen in recent memory. Yes, it gets disturbing. Like, like real disturbing.
Creepy accounts pretending to be kids. I came across a reel randomly, and it's led me down this weird rabbit hole of people using AI or dressing up pretending to go to school. They all seem to have high heels, check images in them. Is this an age play thing or something more sinister?
Well, we got to respect. You can't kink shame now. We're in current year. You cannot kink shame. Even though this guy looks like that. That's me in the corner, being scared shitless. Just imagine.
Literally anything helps as I keep trying to look for answers. This post was made to the subreddit r/Instagram by the user numerouscut792 on April 15th, 2024. It featured screenshots of 3 bizarre-looking Instagram pages they had encountered earlier that day, with OP expressing concern that something truly disturbing was happening with these users. And those in the thread agreed. What the actual fuck? Found all of them and blocked them all. Truthsticks11 is seriously creepy to me. I've been trying to find more about them but can hardly find anything. Very weird account to say the least. The 3 accounts apparently belong to 3 different children. However, when combing through their posts, the content seems to imply something much more bizarre was afoot.
You're just shaming someone. Ah, you bigot. No. This guy's getting more creepy.
Something truly disturbing. This post would be the start of a story that would eventually be picked up and shared all across the online world, becoming one of the more notorious internet mysteries in recent memory, as these accounts revealed an unending rabbit hole that is still being traversed to this very day, in an ongoing investigation into one of the most depraved oddities ever found on Instagram. This is the emerging story of Smartschoolboy9.
1, 2, 3, 4, school. I hope you like these photos. School is good.
Yeah, I thought this was an ARG. I thought he was just going to fuck with me and say, hey, this is all an ARG made up by a fucked up individual who just wanted to fucking scare you. Nope. It gets worse.
Really good.
We'll return after these messages.
Before we get too far down this rabbit hole, I want to first...
I don't like to see people's faces. Sorry, you're ugly. I tried to skip ahead. Sorry. We get it. You want to sell stupid shit. I get it. There we go. Sorry. I can respect you for making this video, and I think more people need to call out this motherfucker. But I don't smoke or do any of that. I drink coffee and eat beans so I can shit myself scareless.
Beautiful boy, an account looked after by me, a degree-educated mother choosing to stay anonymous. This was the bio of the first account pictured in the Reddit post, an account named TruthSticks11, which was said to be operated by a 12-year-old boy and his mother. Back in October of 2021, the duo would make their very first post, kicking things off on a somewhat concerning note, though not for their own page, but instead another account on the platform.
So, that's the account run by a man pretending to be a boy.
Yeah, this motherfucker, he gets off. He gets off knowing that people are afraid of him. But one thing I can say, he's scary, but I can still make fun of him. He's a creepy weirdo. I don't care to make fun of others. Especially this creepy fuck. There's a reason why people do stuff like in the this fucked up stuff to other people when they fuck this fuck. Ooh, this dude's so evil.
The video was created and posted by the mother for the sole purpose of warning others of a specific user who had been posing as a child online when in actuality he was a grown man who did this in order to get close to and exploit other children across the platform.
You're shaming him. You're shaming them. Bigot.
It's the grim reality of this online world, as predators will do just about anything to get closer to children, and it's a reality often unrealized or even ignored by parents, which makes it almost refreshing that this mother was out here trying to raise awareness. These posts would become the crux of the account early on. They would call out this user and their many accounts again and again, eventually going more in depth about what this person would actually do, claiming that they had a strange perversion to dressing up as a young schoolboy. Does he wish he were a young boy in a school classroom, looking nice and being successful at school? Yes. This theme of calling out online predators would remain consistent throughout the years on Truth.
This motherfucker goons knowing that he terrifies us and terrifies the kiddos he tries to go after. Jesus Christ. Back in the day, like my grandparents, this person would have been on a tree.
Sticks11. However, after some time, the mother behind the account began to use the page for its initially intended purpose, to share photos of her son. The photos began reasonably normal, and would show this young boy studying at school, accepting awards from their principal, and even school presentations in which their son had attended, with the captions often boasting about how intelligent the young boy was. Though over time, the photos began to grow stranger.
It's a mom, okay? She wants to filter up her young little boy. He needs that attention. He needs that glamour. Like those Instagram models who do the same thing. We just need to do it 10 times. You know, you need the pale skin, you need the showing the lips show that he's white, blue eyes, it just pops out. The hair blonde and beautiful. Oh, he's gonna be an Instagram model soon. Only a mother can love. Jesus Christ.
They looked off, almost as if they were AI generated. And on top of this,
He kind of looks like now the I forgot his name. What's his name? King Charles the Fourth or something. The real inbred guy who had the massive jaw. He looks like that now.
they began to appear heavily edited in an almost inexplicable manner, with deep red lipstick often being added, which was enunciated by his face being turned pure.
This is reminding me of Jeff the Killer. Just perfectly. Like, this is why I thought this was an ARG. There was no way, I thought there was no way this is real.
White. This unsettling trend would continue from here, as with each passing post, the photos grew less authentic and more surreal.
When you take a bunch of drugs and LSD, when you shit in your teacher's cup and she drinks it, and likes it. This guy gets off to these pictures too. So just think about what he hides. Holy shit.
Until they became straight up disturbed, even sickening. These bizarre edits spilled over past just the images too, as the posts began to appear as disjointed collages, often showcasing
Jesus, be Teddy when it comes to written ideas. Know what's where in your spare school books, and have stickers on the front with the 5 best ideas. Lead with those ideas. Jesus Christ. Oh. Oh. Oh God. Just oh.
multiple grotesque images and paragraphs about how much this user loved school. And this wasn't the only shift either. At some point, the son behind the account began posting content that allegedly came directly from him.
This is like an SCP. We could be seeing an SCP right now. You know, I mean, in reality, it's just, take out the S and it's just I'm not going to say it. I mean, he says it, but I'm not going to say it.
Him, saying things like, "My really cool mom asked me if I'd like to post, and I said, yes please." He even shared supposed videos that he had filmed of himself, which were equally as unconvincing as his photos, and somehow even more chilling.
If this was on the deep web, you would say it's an ARG or something very creepy. And yes, I do think the guy's a 100%, PDF file. There is no doubt. Like the stuff, if you look into this kind of research of what PDF files do, they do very, very similar things. Exactly the same way. They also hide in plain sight if you don't look into it. That's the reason why you need to observe it. And if you catch one, report it. tipstopfbi.gov. If you're American, if you could do other ones too, like Scotland Yard, whatever. I'm a hamburger American.
The boy even shows off his singing in one of the clips.
See, I tend to not have nightmares. But this actually scared me when I first watched this. Like, this is something where I woke up seeing, well, not this face. I mean, it's creepy as hell. But the other one, you see on display.
Though their voice sounds off. The account was overall anomalous and extremely off-putting. And though this content was visually alarming, another aspect made it even more so concerning, as over time, many of the images began to resemble CP, showcasing these fake AI children in explicit positions.
And he is correct. Yeah, it's true. He doesn't show it. I'm glad he doesn't, because it makes you feel like humanity is dead and we need the nukes. Come on, Russia, do it. Do it, Russia. I fucking dare you. Vladimir Putin looks like a monkey.
Their faces sometimes even being photoshopped onto scantily dressed adult bodies. One thing is blatantly obvious about the Truth Sticks account: the supposed child behind it is not real. Even in the more passable photos at the very beginning, there's evidence to suggest that these were likely AI as well. And based on the disturbed, borderline illegal content that this page featured, it seemed more than likely that whoever was behind this page was not an innocent mother concerned for the welfare of other children, but instead, a predatory individual themselves. And this wasn't their only account. The second page featured on the Reddit post belonged to a user named GirlChloe12 and bore striking similarities to Truth Sticks.
Yeah, this motherfucker has multiple accounts, and even, I'll get to it later, but he still posts. It just, We will get to it, but it's fucking crazy.
The page was also supposedly run by a child and monitored by their parent. Bizarrely, they also posted frequently about the dangers of online predators, with the wording of these posts and the editing being essentially the exact same as Truth Sticks, just not as over the top. These two accounts even frequently interacted with each other, thus providing a substantial link on its own.
He's jacking off himself. He's legitimately, I mean, he doesn't actually. He actually does, jerk himself off on the video. Yeah, he gets off knowing that he creeps people out. And that's the sad thing. You can't even say it's you can't call him creepy because he edged to it. He fucking does skippity edge riz to us being terrified of him. This dude's also in his 50s.
But by far the most compelling link between these pages is one that is easy to miss at a glance, with that being a blatant obsession with high-heeled mini boots.
Ben Shapiro. Is it Ben Shapiro or is it Nick Fuente? Who's one that's scared who's into shoes, into feet, who raided the Capitol? I think it was Ben Shapiro, if I'm correct. He stole the shoes. Now anybody that's into feet, they're always creepy. I'm sorry. You can be into tits, you can be into ass, you can love the asshole, and you can lick it. Don't even care if there's dingleberries. But even more creepy is a person that's into feet. They're just creepy.
These shoes were mentioned or shown in virtually every single post made by these two users. At playtime, I'm sometimes running around with my really cool heeled footwear I wear with my uniform. After coming home from school, education isn't over for the day once the blue blazer, gray jersey, neat tie, white shirt, tailored close-fit gray trousers, and black heeled mini boots are in the wardrobe. No matter what they discussed, school uniforms and mini boots were always a talking point, which adds confirmation to something that is already becoming apparent. This is fetish content, not too unlike the bizarre accounts in the Pipergate rabbit hole.
Yeah, I know about that one too. That was on YouTube as well. See, predators are becoming more and more common on the surface web. Now, the dark web's not really a thing much anymore. Most people use Telegram for any illegal content. That's a fact, by the way. So if you use Telegram, you're going to most likely deal with some PDF files on there. It's the reason why I'm actually glad that the CEO was arrested. Now, he got out, but he's most likely going to be monitored, and anyone who posts any illegal content, they're compromised. Holy shit, they are compromised. This is creepy.
Fetish content centered around children. And what makes the Chloe account so disturbing is that AI was seemingly not used, and rather the images seem to be of actual children. Despite this disturbing distinction, these two accounts are cut from the same cloth, and all signs point to them being created by the same person. A person who, despite their constant warnings of the dangers of adults pretending to be children online, seems to be doing the exact same thing, as part of some sort of fetish, the extent of which we'll discuss later. But for now, one thing was for certain. These pages were not run by children, or their parents. So, who created them? Well, that brings us to our third and final account shown in that initial post. Smartschoolboy9 was much the same as the other two accounts. They warned of online predators, obsessed over high-heeled mini boots and school uniforms, and posed as a child despite clearly not being one. But Smart Schoolboy was different in one key aspect. The person behind the account was pretending to be a child, but they were doing so in a much more apparent manner, as they didn't use AI or stolen images of other kids to form their identity, and instead, they used photos of themselves.
Just imagine, you're a fucking 10-year-old kid or 9-year-old. You're just some child. You want to play in the park, and you see this Texas chainsaw looking motherfucker. You see this motherfucker, this bloke, because he's in England, the Bond man, and you see this motherfucker. This will give you PTSD. You think the Vietnam victims were fucking pussies. You would think they're fucking pussies. You'd be thinking, I seen a creepy PDF file following me in a weird gimp mask. This is some fucking comedy. It's like it's so scary. It's kind of funny in a way. That's why I think you should make fun of this fucker. Like, holy shit. This is... He does this in public, by the way.
In the images posted on the account, we
Want some candy? You want some candy, little boy or little girl? I got some.
see what appears to be a fully grown man, dressed in a schoolboy's uniform. His face is painted pure white and has bright red lipstick, and he's, of course, wearing high-heeled mini boots. Characteristics that were all utilized across the other accounts, only this time it was done on himself, as he poses as a child pretending to go to school, as well as pretending to go through other life events common for preteens.
Hi, I have to wear a dental brace, but look how cool it is. And with my smart school uniform and heeled mini boots. If this dude, when he dies, this dude, even Satan himself would say, "Fuck off. We are full. You go underneath us. You are fucking creepy. Even our fucking demons are afraid of you."
And the photos aren't even the most disturbing part, as the account consists primarily of videos.
Oh.
God, it's just this is like a horror movie. This is a horror movie right here.
School. Hi. Let me know if you like school as well.
I don't know why he sticks his tongue out like that. That's the scariest part. I think it's so he can make himself have big lips, but it's fucking scary. It's fucking terrifying.
The videos are all incredibly off-putting. Some show him arriving home from school.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. School.
Others show him claiming to be on the bus heading toward school.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, I'm on the school bus.
And others
He's in Europe, so just think they'd be like, we can't deny him. That would be offensive. And you just have this fully grown creepy motherfucker sitting right next to your child. Oh God, Britain is fucked.
other videos showing him doing whatever this is.
Totally normal, not fucking scary. It's not he's gonna suck your soul up. He's not gonna suck you dry like a vampire.
With these strange sounds and the process of sticking his tongue out appearing to be part of his fetish.
Get the 12 gauge. Like, no joke. If he wasn't in Britain, this dude would have his head turn into red confetti. Like, this is the kind of shit you would get a 12 gauge on. This is fucking scary and something you need to get a 12 gauge. Like Jesus.
As much like the other accounts, his content is overtly sexual, in its own bizarre way. In fact, there's a video of him with his full outfit on, where he shows himself staring into a mirror as he appears to pleasure himself, right out of view of the camera, as he stares into his own eyes.
Skibbity edge Riz. Beautiful. Just think you're a kid. You go on Instagram or you see someone just jacking off.
This account is by far the most sickening part of this whole rabbit hole, and also the most important. Interspersed throughout his page are a few examples of what this individual's voice sounds like,
This is quite good.
which just so happens to be the same voice heard in the very first clip shown on the Truth Sticks account.
A man pretending to be a boy.
Meaning that this full-grown adult man is the one behind this entire rabbit hole. He's the one on these accounts pretending to be a child and their mother, getting some sort of sick satisfaction from whatever this is. And the worst part is, these activities aren't just kept behind closed doors. As we can see on numerous occasions, videos of him walking around outside in a public space, with his full outfit and face paint on.
This would be fucking terrifying. Even as you could be a 6'7" jacked motherfucker, and even this may make you shit your pants. This is something you see, and you think, "Am I in a dream?" You know, you slap yourself a few times, and you see this motherfucker. This buck-tooth British bloke who looks like he's going to have fun with your butt when he strangles you, or if you're a child. This is nightmare fuel.
I don't see.
I'm shocked that nobody didn't scream at him to say, "Get the fuck out of here, you fucking creepy fuck." But because he's in Britain, Britbon land, he could do this shit because it's considered offensive to shame someone who's into their age play. Like no, this is going too far. This is way too far.
It's truly one of the strangest things that I've ever seen, and making sense of what this all is extremely difficult. But based on the information found from this first Reddit post, a few likely conclusions can be put forward. This man is clearly attracted to the idea of being a kid, and I think OP was correct when they speculated that this was some sort of age play thing, but it's also clearly much more than that too. As based on the images that he's created himself, he clearly has some sort of attraction to other children as well, as he's quite literally created faux CP, the likes of which is so disturbing that I can't even really describe it here either. He's creating fetish content, and he's using the likeness of children, and also some children that are clearly very real people.
I'm shocked that nobody hasn't found the kids and say, "Hey," to the parents, you know, you can probably press charges. Especially in Europe, you can't really post people's personal information without their consent. That's probably the few things I actually enjoy about Europe, where, you know, if you dox somebody without their consent, you can get charged for a crime. Which we should do here in the States because, you know, doxing is gay and not good. I know some people say, well, doxing helps. No, if you're a criminal, yes, this guy needs to be doxed, but not like someone who does nothing wrong, you know, nothing that can be proven wrong.
To do so, that much is obvious. But there was also the possibility that he was pretending to be a kid in order to exploit other children across the internet. At this point though, this was merely speculation, with much of the Smartschoolboy9 case remaining a mystery, and the rabbit hole was only getting deeper from here.
Leatherface.
Months after this rabbit hole was introduced to the online world, the story began to be shared all across the internet, most notably on the r/internet mysteries subreddit, where the case really took off. There, internet sleuths began uncovering just how vast this web of accounts actually was, as it wasn't just these 3 pages. No, there seemed to be over a dozen, and likely even more that we still haven't found, as he's created his own sort of community, his own little world, where across each page he pretends to be a child, with these accounts typically following each other and frequently interacting, seemingly to make these characters appear as though they have real friends.
He's trying to make the bait so he can get some kiddos. And I think one of the kids actually did get caught. Well, not caught, you know, he was grooming one, so yeah, this dude was successful in getting one. Now, he didn't, I don't think fully got him, you know, it's like on the internet, so at least the kid wasn't touched. I hope not.
On one of these pages, 12 Stockwell Joanne, he poses as a 14-year-old girl, using more AI images to depict explicit positions of this manufactured child, which I obviously am not going to show here. Though
This is some Skinwalker territory right here. Like he's legitimately a real life skinwalker.
Much like his Chloe account, he also shows images of very real young girls. But this isn't the most concerning part of this account, as on numerous occasions he's shown images of children at a playground, which he may have taken himself.
They're like, oi, what's that creepy guy taking pictures of us? Oh my god, and these kids, they are staring at him. You could just tell they're staring at him. They're like, what's this guy doing? He's staring at you, kiddos. He wants some meat.
This fantasy of being a schoolgirl and taking part in these school-centric activities is something carried over throughout multiple of his accounts, with his most common alias being Stephanie, of which he has numerous different accounts featuring that same name.
Yeah, I'm Stephanie.
You know, that's scary. He has multiple accounts, so if we catch him on one account, he's just going to a different account. So this guy's been planning ahead. He has several accounts because you had to almost all these accounts you have to make like a phone number. You had to put a phone number with it. I'm assuming with IG. I don't really use IG, but most of the time you need to use like a phone number to make it work and all that. You can use email, but email is easy to make.
This Stephanie character claims to be a 12-year-old aspiring poet, with accounts all across the internet, many of which showcasing examples of her poetry, which carries on those same distinct sexual undertones. I race to complete my poems when I've got an early start, heart racing, mixed rhythms, maximizing miracles, rice with rap, and on the map, my Kennington, London syllables, dancing though I know my underwear might show if I lean forward.
I see map. Yeah, this dude's like giving the wink wink nudge nudge. I'm a map. That kind of stuff. You can just tell. This dude is like he's into both. He's in like boys and girls.
Good. Stephanie Stansfield, 12. But digging even deeper, her poetry has even seemingly been featured in various articles and even newspapers, showcasing that this rabbit hole extends far past just the online world. This act is clearly their obsession, and he's been doing this for years, with the earliest examples that I could find coming from all the way back in 2018. And this Stephanie character seems to be his go-to alias, embodying it in even the literal sense.
Oh my god. You're in an apartment complex. You see someone in the stairs. You see this. What do? Get the cross. Call for Jesus. Call for rapture.
As in one of his many...
This dude's showing off his ass. It wouldn't shock me if he has OnlyFans. Like, let's see your OnlyFans Smartschoolboy9.
pages dedicated to this Stephanie character. He dresses as her, wearing a wig and a dress, as he pretends to be a 12-year-old girl. Almost immediately after this case began gaining traction, the true magnitude of this rabbit hole was revealed. Across every single account are countless depraved posts and oddities that all could warrant discussion, but by far the most important discoveries were those that didn't actually occur on his own page, and rather the pages of other actual children. Do you like school? I do. It is good. You have some cool shirts, but I have to wear school uniforms to school. It is nice, but casual isn't allowed, and it's quite hot here in the UK, as the month of June suddenly got warmer.
Oh, he gets so hot he has to take off his clothes. No, next to a kid, and he just shows off his boji woji ooh.
These are two examples out of many that show Smartschoolboy9 reaching out and attempting to befriend young children online. In one comment, he even warns a child about other comments from bad people, stating that, "It happens to most boys in our age group, but stay safe, stay cool, don't be dismayed by creeps." This is our best evidence that these accounts weren't just made for age play. No, he's actually posing as a child in order to
You can see his underwear. Dude.
make friends with other children. And given his overtly sexual interests and aversion to CP, it's not hard to gather why he was doing this. And these examples are only what we found so far. It's possible that there are dozens, or who knows, maybe even hundreds of other comments out there, hidden on unknown children's accounts. This is predatory behavior. The man behind Schoolboy9 is a predator. And in case there was still any doubt of whether or not this was a sexual thing, here's what he had to say about being a 13-year-old girl. But have his tactics actually worked? Well, the frightening thing is, no one knows if he's actually been successful or not, or even what specifically he's looking for. We just know that he's trying to reach kids, as evidenced not only by his comments, but by the fact that he's solely following children on all of these pages. And though it's easy to look at these accounts and know that something is off, for children, it's not that simple, especially when there's pages showcasing photos of actual kids.
As I said, try to report this guy, for doctoring minors.
Which brings up another frightening detail. Many of the images he's used of children have not been traced back to their original creator, and some seem to appear for the very first time online publicly on this man's pages.
Jesus Christ. Just think he's a teacher. He's a teacher. There's no way. Like, he's smart enough to know how to make, like, a bunch of alt accounts and all that. So I'm assuming he has some sort of job. So he's like a normal guy one bit, and then he's like doing this creepy shit the other time.
Which might mean that he was sent them privately. There's even one image that David posted on his schoolboy account, which shows another kid that he claimed to be on a
Dear God. This is fucking creepy.
playdate with, though it's impossible to say if this is real or not. For now, we just don't know for sure. Though given the fact that he's reaching out to children, posting fetish content centered around children, and has even potentially photographed kids in the wild, one thing is for certain: Smartschoolboy9 needs to be stopped.
Get the shotgun. In Minecraft.
Finding this man and reporting him to law enforcement quickly became the top priority for those investigating the case. And luckily, he left several glaring clues behind that made this process a whole lot easier. On numerous occasions across his many pages, he would post images and videos of specific locations, even showing streets and mentioning very particular areas in his poems, all of which centered around the London area, immediately giving us an idea of where he was located. And that wasn't all. I mentioned how the alias of Stephanie was one that he used more so than any other, but what's interesting is that there was another name used just as often across his accounts, brought up time and time again, though it's a name that he never seemed to call any of his characters. Instead, he simply referred to this person as a stepbrother, or a father, or even a friend from school, despite never actually picturing him, just mentioning his name: David. And sure enough, after connecting a few dots, it would be revealed that this person's actual name was in fact David. David Alter.
What's with the name David and being fucking creepy? I don't know why. It's either David or Devin. David or Devin. It's always a creepy motherfucker's name that way.
With a man being 59 years old. At the moment, it doesn't appear that David has any past criminal convictions or documented history of this behavior, but we do know that thanks to the investigation done on Reddit and Discord, he is currently being investigated by local authorities, which will hopefully put an end to his online behavior.
Okay, I'm gonna say this. He's in Britain. He's not going to get arrested. He's being investigated, but he won't be arrested. That's a fact. That's a fucking fact. There are fucking people just like this motherfucker. There's that one lolcow who's from Europe, and he basically gets defended by the police officers. This guy's going to get away with it. He's going to do something very creepy, and hopefully a dude that's big and not absolutely terrified of him would just go ham on him. Turn his face black and blue.
And shine some more light on who this person actually is. As for the time being, the only other information that we really know about David is that he likes to write poetry and he makes music.
7 a.m. That's 7 a.m. I think I hear a running tram. Going back in time. Not out of kind. I think I like a little lemon and lime. To Marianne, hey Steely Dan. I like the sound of that running train.
It's beautiful. I would buy 10 copies of it and I'll send them to my worst enemies to scare them. Fear tactics work.
And his name also appears in a random newspaper, where he's discussing the importance of kids wearing school uniforms.
Oh, you gotta wear those school uniforms. They make me edge.
And that's really all we have at the moment. Though there is one very important aspect that we have yet to talk about in relation to this man, with that being David's mental state. Some believe that David is a mentally unwell individual who potentially doesn't know the extent of what they are doing.
Nah, he's fine. He's fine. He's just expressing himself.
Now, even if this is the case, his behavior still needs to be stopped, and he needs to be given proper help to assure that no one else gets hurt by his actions. But it is important to note that
Help. Is that innuendos for getting the drill and making his eyeballs into soup? Then yes, he needs help.
David is far more intelligent than he lets on, as his personal accounts show us that he is fairly well-spoken and articulate, and throughout his problematic content, most of his bad grammar and strange verbiage seems to be his attempts at more authentically trying to replicate a child, but it's impossible to know for sure. But what we do know is that David is extremely manipulative, with his response to this situation and other clues littered across his accounts showing us that he seems to know what he's doing, and he knows that it's wrong. Since the exposure of David's accounts, he hasn't silently slithered away like most other predators would. Instead, he's actually responded on more than a few occasions, lashing out to those who have DM'd him, calling them the perverts and predators. He even left a comment on his Joanne account seemingly directed at himself.
No, you're the PDF file. You know, anyone who tries to do a know you, it confirms it. I dealt with this with CCDN when, I said, you're doing something stupid trying to impersonate a police officer. And he's like, you're a PDF file. And then people found out that he beat his girlfriend and he's just being a creepy fuck. It's always these types of people, when you call them out on their bullshit, they'll say, no, you.
Writing, "You are really sad. And if that's your name, David, be honest with yourself. You're 50, as you said elsewhere. You reply to me, a girl, as if I'm your buddy? No chance ever." This is something David does all the time. It's projection, and it started all the way back at the beginning of this rabbit hole.
So, that's the account run by a man.
See, I'm looking at the top left of his phone, and I see a heart. I see a download, so he's been downloading some images. You see a Google symbol, so he most likely, it's from one of his alt Google accounts. So, yeah, this dude, he is networking like crazy. He is trying to get those deets of all those minors. This is the extent this guy's going. He is going ham. Check his hard drives.
Pretending to be a boy.
And he continued posting these predator exposés, along with other warnings about predators on the internet across every page he made, each of which being hyper-specific to his own predatory ways and fetishes. The things he accuses others of are blatant projections of his own dark vices. And I can think of two reasons why. Number one,
he's, I'm gonna say in the layman's way, he's trying to hide his ass.
That this makes his account look safer to other parents and children. It gives the appearance that he's not another internet creep, because he's actively calling them out. It's a way to build trust in order to befriend and exploit kids. And number two, he knows what he's doing is wrong, and this is his bizarre way of self-reporting, probably to make himself feel better about what he's doing. And it's obvious based on just how accurate these claims against others are to him. Does he wish he were a young boy in a school classroom, looking nice and being successful at school? Yes. And these claims are made over and over again, as each time he calls someone out, he's further exposing himself, which becomes more concerning when you realize that these projections seemingly aren't strictly pedophilic. Within those eerily familiar expose posts he made on Truthsticks11, he mentions how this user not only wanted to exploit children online, but they wanted to kill them as well.
The internet can be a scary place. It's a scary, scary place.
As he mentions that this user has a clear interest in cannibalizing kids, and even performing ritualistic sacrifices on them. And based on how accurate all of the other exposures are to himself, I have no reason to believe that this isn't part of his MO as well.
This dude has most likely killed someone. And he may get away with it. Like more than get away with it, he's going to get away with everything he's doing. He knows what he's doing. He knows that he's creepy. He knows every single thing about it. And he's most likely harmed people.
As crazy as that may sound, this also seems to coincide with some of the content he's posted that I can't show you, as some of these photos show children edited in contorted positions, including some where he's added what appears to be rope to give the illusion that they're tied up. And what makes this even more disturbing is that on his accounts, he's posted numerous photos in the vicinity of schools.
Yes, so in real time, and currently, right now, this dude is still doing this, and I bet he is. Oh, we're investigating. Oh, you gotta trust us police officers. We are doing our job, mate. No, they're not. They're basically saying, can you please stop? We're not trying to kink shame. We don't offend you. And he said, okay. And then he keeps going to schools, and he can't really do anything about it because he's technically not touching them. So, oh god.
On nearby secluded trails, and even some where he discusses what time school starts and ends, saying that he likes to be awake and ready for it. There's even photos that show other children outside from a distance, almost as if David was stalking them. This is highly concerning.
Yummy.
Even if we don't know truly how low this man's perversions get, he is still far too close to children, which is perfectly encapsulated by this photo of him on a school playground during the day. And with his disturbing desires, I don't even want to imagine what he's capable of. Which brings us to the final piece of content that I need to talk about. Chasing another boy running in heeled mini boots. This was the text shown on screen during a short video posted onto one of David's many accounts.
This is the most scariest part too. Like, there's no doubt there's more videos, but this dude, I guaranteed, chased a boy, and he has a full video of him chasing a boy or girl or whatever, a child, and just capturing him like a Pokemon.
And in the video, we see the man pointing the camera at himself, showing his full face of white makeup and red lipstick. This video is edited more egregiously than any others I've seen across his page.
Deep fried memes. PDF file edition.
With multiple explicit images and huge emojis covering the majority of the screen. Though just barely enough of the footage can be seen that shows David as he turns the camera around, revealing a young boy.
I love how he puts ice cream. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna chase after this boy. Got some ice cream? Want some ice cream, little boy? It's the shape of a cock.
Who he then proceeds to chase after.
This kid is running for his life. You could tell he is running for his life. He is fucking afraid. Dude. So this dude actually goes after kids. He's not bluffing. He's enjoying knowing that he's getting away with it.
Giggling all the while. Whether this was an edited video or a real occurrence, we don't currently know.
No.
David's doings are a mystery that will take some time to unravel, and my hope is that law enforcement will be able to follow through and help shed some more light on this individual.
He's in Britain. He's been doing this for years. Like 2018. Think about that. It's almost 2025. This dude's been almost doing this for almost 7 years. This dude is not being stopped. He's enjoying this. He is having a field day. So if you're in Britain and you see someone like this, you know, I don't know what to tell you what to do, but maybe in your gut you know what to do.
And finally put an end to his twisted behavior. But at this point, only one thing is for sure. The story of Smartschoolboy9 is far from over.
Do not contact the investigation. But he's being investigated. And I say 6 months to a year, they won't do nothing. So this guy's going to get away with it. It's still more. Okay. Yeah. As I said, the most scariest fucking person I have ever seen. Nothing else I have seen. And I thought this was an ARG. Completely real. If you look into these predators, like actually on the internet, they do everything that he's doing right now. The creepy pictures, the tying up. You know, if you look at like the weird Pizzagate conspiracy theories, you know that's actually has some truth to it. Where you know they have weird fetishes, just stuff like that. That's what they have. He does everything like that. Everything. I guarantee if you look even deeper, which I think most people have just seen the surface, I guarantee he goes on other websites. He's 59, so there's no doubt he's been on the internet since the early 2000s or the 90s. So he's most likely able to go on the deep web with no issues. Like he seems like he's tech literate for someone that's 59. So he's someone that understands tech. So that's scary. You got a creepy old guy chasing kids. But I enjoyed this. Not really, but at the same time, I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you like the nightmares you get knowing that you see this guy, you know, in your 3 a.m. Your paralysis demon. Yeah, that guy making that weird tongue face, making that weird sound. You want some candy? You there, little boy or girl? But y'all have a good one. Like, subscribe, do whatever. Edge. Don't edge to this. You know, God will hate you. But y'all have a good one. Take care.